Take one.
My name is Tiffany Michelle Foster, and today we are going to get a chance to explore the amazing world that this is created in, because this was shot in Missouri. Amazing. You are getting to meet the cast and the crew behind this amazing film, so stick along on the ride with us. Let's go.
Royal Retribution was actually born out of another script that originally was being written as a prequel to Just Try, a previous fantasy film that I'd made. After a lot of consideration, I decided to scrap the idea and go with something completely new. Same script, just changed a lot of character names and moved a lot of things around. Got a co-writer, Kira Lee Harris, did an excellent job of helping me smooth things out, and what we came up with was a short film that kind of was loosely based on D&D in some ways. Paladin is on the run from a beast, a monster, and she takes refuge in a tavern. And in that tavern, she's basically stuck working with the people that are in there to try to capture the beast. There's a few other little things in there as well, but that's more or less the gist of the story.
Is your character similar to who you are? I mean, maybe not physically.
No, not at all. The one aspect that is similar is the protective nature. Like, Vancouver he works for the king, but he hates the king. But he's very protective of the king's daughter. Mm-hmm. That is something that is where I could really put myself into it. Mm-hmm. But Vancouver's kind of an asshole.
The part when I get to stop the door and be a badass when Vancouver's trying to be a jackass.
And I always try to be kind, and so the first thing I did was when I met Astralia and Bella, I introduced myself. I'm like, look, I just want to introduce myself and just say hi, because when we're in there, I'm gonna be an asshole to you, and I don't want you to think that's who I am.
Tell me more about your character, specifically getting into the mindset of your character, what it took.
Yeah, so I feel like Iril was really close to my personality in that they're sure of themselves, but they also feel like there's something that they have to prove. And I feel like that was something that I could identify with a lot as an actress who's wanting to make her way in the world. She's a very fun, very interesting character, and I've been so grateful that I've been given the opportunity to be able to try her on.
The difference I feel with Alira and myself is that there's a little bit more of an arrogance within Alira that I don't have, and a sweetness that I have that Alira doesn't have. But there's a frustration and a camaraderie that I think kind of matches my personality.
I just try to think of it in terms of motivations and relationships. So I have this pre-existing rapport with Alira and with Vancouver and with Artemis, and all those relationships are a little bit different. I am familiar with and have some camaraderie with Alira, but it's also slightly antagonistic. Vancouver is effectively my boss and maybe someone who I learn from, and once I start orienting myself in how I interact with other people, then it's just kind of going through the scenario as it plays out.
We're Valcroy's, right hand muscle, basically, because he's a mage, and mage, they're tender, they're soft, they get hurt easily. So we're the muscle, and we wanted some continuity, like we're part of the king's entourage to take care of the princess, so we wanted to look alike. So me and Michaela, we decided to get the same type of leather armor, and we bought this from a website that Michaela is a part of.
I am an affiliate partner with a company called Bergschneider. So they are a German manufacturer, and they make a lot of time period costuming. They started doing a fantasy line. So the base of my outfit is actually from their Dungeons & Dragons Call to Arms line. They sent me the full fighter set. And then I just got to trick it out and accessorize from there.
He is a ranger, an elite ranger, but it's from far away. So I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I own Logic Martial Arts and Fight Choreography located downtown St. Louis. I have like 40 years worth of martial arts
Oh my
experience.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
This has been great. The cast and crew have been great. The set has been phenomenal. I'm just in awe, and I like productions like that where everybody's energy is all positive.
Yeah, I have to say it's
Yeah.
really as cold as it is outside.
And nobody's still mad.
Everybody. How long did it take to become your character?
On average, it was, I think the quickest was maybe an hour and a half. Friday, it was like 3.5. It was an average of about 2 hours every day. Because, like she would come in, she would do like a bass line down here, and then get the ears on, let the ears set while she's, doing somebody else, and then, she's got to touch those up and paint me and just get everything smoothed out. And Joanna was amazing.
Tell us about your background. How long have you been doing makeup?
Jeez, I feel like I've been doing it maybe 5 or 6 years. I just started experimenting with it. I would watch movies, horror films, and I just be curious and interested in, how did they do that?
On this film, is there any makeup that's been particularly challenging that you've needed to do for anyone?
Yes, John's makeup. One thing one of my friends tells me is, filmmaking is fixing problems. And that's what I've been noticing a lot lately is we all have this idea in mind, but problems are always going to arise. And I think that's what's fun is just taking on a challenge, doing films with your friends and seeing, well, let's figure it out and let's do it.
My main task has been to rough people up, to dirty them up.
Cool. So is this a new technique that you had to learn, or had you previously roughed people up? Are you in the business of roughing people up?
Yeah, I would say I've roughed people up a few times here and there.
What was the most extensive in time that you needed to rough up?
I would say that I've spent the most time, because he was the first one I ever did, was the Bard. Kind of went a little ham on him. So now I have to consistently keep that the same way. I've learned a lot of things under Joanna, and she has shown me a lot of things I didn't even know about. And I always thought that you had to use more high-end things, but she's shown me that there's some little loopholes you can go here and there through.
Got it.
And it's been very helpful for me.
What has been the most surprising thing on set?
For the crew.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with both Elliot and Caleb and just mesmerized by just how knowledgeable they are, and was very surprised with the functionality of the crew and how they are working on set.
Crew is crucial. I mean, without them, it doesn't matter how good your actors are. If you don't have great sound and imagery, nobody's going to keep watching the film. I try my best to surround myself with people that are experienced or very passionate. And a lot of times I do have students on set, and I do that on purpose because it's an opportunity to learn. Every film's an opportunity to learn. You never know everything, no matter how many years you do this stuff. You will continue to learn each and every time, and you will do things differently each and every time. There are some things that stay the same, but there's a lot that doesn't, and having a good crew that can adapt and improv when needed to is what is crucial in making sure that you have a grade A production.
The costuming and, things like the smoke and stuff like that, and the fireplace and the lighting. I mean, it looks cool just in the moment on set. I can't wait to see what the after effect looks like.
Talking to Tony and realizing that he built it from the ground up. I mean, to go out there and use all salvage, I think he said it was almost entirely salvage materials to build the tavern, and to create all of it, dress the set with all the bones, the big dragon skull that's up on the fireplace. I mean, he just made such a a breathing entity to, I feel like the tavern is almost as much of a character as we are. Between that and then his incredible costume work.
We're supposed to be Krampus's elves, and we're supposed to be his helpers. My name is Bagul, in my costume, and his is Valak.
Yep.
Cool. So
I steal people's souls.
Yeah. So Valak means taker of souls. Bagul means taker of children.
So he takes the children, brings them to Krampus, and Krampus calls me over, and I steal their souls.
What was your favorite part about being on set?
My favorite part was probably like stealing the gold at the end.
You stole the gold?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
some of it at least.
we were Dustin. He said, "Look," and then we looked towards the fight. We dropped our cards and we picked up as much as gold as we can, and we ran. Mine was meeting everyone, having a fun time, talking.
Tell us about Ronin Stunt Company.
We are Kansas City's premier stunt family, is what we like to say. We are the only fully staffed stunt team in the general KC area. We are fully equipped to provide any type of stunt for any film. I can think of two that are in the film. The first one is what's called a taco. So we brought in a stunt double. The other one I can think of is Anjin gets thrown over the bar. He throws himself up over Iriel, over an actress, lands on the bar, but then there's a tiny gap behind the bar between the inside of it and the wall. So he has to then fall into that gap without hitting the wall.
And then I came in, learned my part of the fight so that I was super confident and ready to go. So then when we started working with the actresses, because sometimes you have to work with the people around you in the scene. Sometimes I also doubled Iris for this movie, so I learned her part so I can also fight. So it was a little combobulation of coming in, learning my set things, testing some things out, finding out what worked, what didn't work, and then also being prepared to adjust and adapt when on set.
The big one for Royal Retribution is the fight scene between Alira and Iris.
Applying it on set was a whole nother level because we're focusing so much when we're doing the training on the choreography and the stunts, but then once you step on set and you can add that characterization, it all just snapped for me and connected.
Because that's a whole fight sequence, and we have a double for each, and we have the actresses fighting the other's double, and there's a couple big hits in there. We had a couple very, very long, intense rehearsal and previs sessions for that, and they all did great.
I know that the song was not sung by you both, right?
Correct.
Not recorded voices.
Yes.
But do we hear your voices in the film?
No.
We just see some really great lip singing.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna be. I was watching behind the scenes and I was like, they sound really good. Like, you don't need auto tune or anything. That's really awesome. That's wonderful.
We tried. We did have to. Dustin explicitly asked me, and anyway, to actually make noise and sing while we were doing it, though, so that it would appear more real on camera. So.
Yeah, because if you're just mouthing the words, you don't have any tension in your neck or anything.
Yeah, and the breathing for me was important too, making sure to take the breaths at the proper time and. Yeah.
So do you know all the words to the song?
I do.
Okay.
She does.
Okay.
I know the first verse.
I'm just a bartender. I'll be serving them drinks. And just do my thing. And I'm all about having a good time. I just got the bar, basically. And, this might be chaos that's going on, and I don't really like it. And I like things being chill, is what my character is. And I'm very jumpy and scared because of what could possibly happen. Because I didn't really have a lot of lines, but just more of just reacting. And I was just asking Dustin, what's my direction? All right, in this part, you're acting all scared and stuff. This is your mark. This is it. So I'm like, all right, I can do that. It's just making all different types of expressions and oh my God, oh great heavens, and stuff like that. But the takeaway from it is just always remember this moment. Always remember the times. Take what I've learned and see what I can do to improve if I want to, whenever I get on a different set or a different character or any other fantasy projects I get to work on.
Yeah.
Take what I've learned and evolve from there.
The location that we are at and the costumes and everybody's attention to detail and the makeup has just skyrocketed. Like, Dustin has always been a very gifted director and producer. Yeah. He always does extremely well on all of his projects, but I feel like this one, like, he's really dialed in and saying, this is exactly what I want. And everybody from the cast and crew has really, like, came forward and they have delivered.
My favorite part personally has always been the filming. I love the filming. To me, that's like you're in the trenches. You're doing the work. When you get into post-production, that's when the carriage slows down a little bit because other people need to come in and start doing things before you can move forward. So it's a little difficult sometimes because at that point you're waiting on other people to get stuff done. And you are relying on all these different types of talents and hoping they're all going to come together in the end to make this perfect project. So it's almost like building a treehouse, and you've got different people doing different jobs, and you're never all there at the same time. And you're just hoping when you all come together on the last day, the house is perfectly built. That's really what it feels like in post-production. I'm doing the editing, somebody else is doing the sound, another person's doing the visual effects. Someone else is doing the music. We all communicate, but some of us live in Florida, some of us are in St. Louis, some of us are in Kansas City, some of us are in the UK. So we're not all in the same place where we can just sit around in the same room together and work back to back to get things done. So there's a lot of trust. And that to me is honestly the most difficult part of it all. A lot of people say it's filming. I'm fine with 10, 12 hours of filming. I love that. That's where my heart is on set. Post-production is me sitting in a closet talking to myself for 6 months, hoping that I have a good conversation that ends with finishing the project.